Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. I'm Mark, this is Spiguyver Backpacking. Today we're going to be talking about what goes on my feet. And this is a video that may upset some people, may disappoint some people, but I've got to stay true to one of the things that I say over and over again in a lot of my videos, especially when I'm talking about gear and I'm giving opinions on gear, and that is find what works for you and just do it. So, I have found over the years that, I've switched a lot. I started out hiking in big, heavy boots, went to trail runners, went to minimalist shoes, and now I'm kind of in between doing the Hoka thing with a little bit more cushion. But when it came to winter backpacking, I had to reach out to some friends, get some opinions, and figure out what I wanted to do as far as what goes on my feet. I wanted to keep my feet warm. I wanted to keep my feet dry while out hiking, going through snow. It's wetter, it's muddier. You've got the snow aspect. You can be using different pieces of equipment kind of combined together, like crampons or micro spikes, things of that nature, maybe some snowshoes. And so what is the right piece of gear? What's the right shoe, the right footwear to keep me comfortable and keep me going out on the trail? So what I had come up with were these. So couple of friends, two of them really highly recommended these, and then a bunch of viewers recommended these as well. And these are the Keen Revel 4 Polar Mids, and really cool features on them. They're good down to like negative 25 degrees, I believe, because of the insulation that's in there. I think it's Thinsulate. But anyway, there's like 200 grams of insulation in here, keep you nice and warm. It's got a really nice, toe covering, good, bump guard there, nice stuff on the back for attaching crampons, micro spikes, lacing system's good. It's got the connections for gaiters, so it's got a lot of really good features. Best feature of all, you can see all these yellow flecks in the tread pattern. And those are fiberglass pieces, shards that are in there. You can't really feel them. You can feel that it's a little bit rough, but they give it the snowflake rating, which allows it to be grippy on ice. So now it's super grippy. It's not like you're gonna be running around on ice and be able to just stop. But it does give you a little bit of purchase on ice and makes it so that you can step on ice and you're not just gonna slip and fall and look like, Bambi walking across a pond with your legs just kind of going each way. So these are super comfortable, super warm, but, and there is a but, just like every single pair of boots I've ever owned, every one, what happens? Oh yeah, I get blisters. These fit perfectly. I'm wearing the right socks with them, and yet every trip I've taken with them, I have ended up with blisters. I've tried different sock options. I've tried using a liner sock. I've tried using thicker socks. I've tried using thinner socks. I've tried heel lock techniques, which I use quite often when I'm using high tops or boots, but I used heel lock. I used them on ultras even on the Lone Peaks. But I used heel lock techniques. I tried cinching it down harder. It's a pretty rigid boot. It's got some flex to it, but it's not a super flexible boot. And along the Achilles, I ended up with blisters again on the last two trips. On the first trip, it was on one foot. On this last trip, it was on both feet. So, what am I gonna do about this? So what do I do to combat the constant blisters that I get when I have boots? So, Rain Man was like, hey, get some Leuco tape, do that. And I've done that in the past and it works temporarily, but I have just always had a problem with blisters on my heels, specifically along the Achilles. So I think I've narrowed it down to two choices, and those choices are the Zero Alpine boots, which are a minimalist boot that have insulation, they're waterproof, and seem to be pretty warm. Mixed reviews. There are some mixed reviews on the waterproofness. There's mixed reviews on the warmth of them. And so they look really comfortable though. They look very flexible, very comfortable. And then on the other side, there are the Hoka, which, you know, I wear Hoka, the Hoka Speedgoats, but the Hoka Kaha 2 Gore-Tex. So Gore-Tex, definitely waterproof, pretty proven. And that one is a little bit heavier. It's one of their heavier boots, trail runner boot, high top things, in that it's pretty much a full leather construction and should hold up a little bit better to the elements. Going back and forth between the two of them, there's a big price difference. So the Zero shoes are $159.99 or $159.95, $160. $160 for the Zeros. The Hokas are $240. So big price difference between them. The Rebels were right in the middle at $190. So which way do I go? I did make a decision. So I ended up going with the Hokas. And for a good reason, and I'll explain exactly why. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the green and yellow, not the color choice I would have chosen, but I went to my local REI, returned my Revels, and got these. And that is the primary reason I went with these, is that I could go, try them on, make sure I got the right size, the right fit, everything worked, and have them so that this weekend I can go out and really start testing them out. If I had gone with the Zeros, I probably could have gotten expedited shipping and got them in for this weekend. Probably not though, probably would have been for next weekend. But they don't have a return policy that's worth a damn. Their return policy is if you haven't tried them on yet, if you haven't actually worn them, then we'll take them back for, I don't know, 30 days or something like that. But if you've worn them, nope, no good. Well, I don't know how I'm gonna like them. I don't know really how they'll fit. And I've heard mixed reviews. Some people saying you should go up a half a size. Some people talking about how they didn't like the way they felt. Some people talking about they felt like slippers, which actually sounds good. But just the uncertainty. I've worn quite a few pairs of Hokas. The one pair of Zeros that I've got are those Zero sandals, and I do not like them at all. I don't want to judge the whole brand on that one pair that I've got, but I do know that I have had several pairs of Hokas and have loved them, and the one pair of Zeros that I've got are at best. And then with the mixed reviews that are out there, the reviews on these are pretty solid, and there's a whole lot more reviews on these. A lot of people don't have the Zeros, but if I don't like these, if something goes wrong, if I'm still getting blisters, I can return these. That's the great thing about being a member at REI, is being able to take advantage of that return policy, a very generous return policy. But these are what I went with. These are the Hoka Kaha 2s. Not really insulated. They do have a little bit more padding in there, so they are somewhat insulated, but they aren't specifically a winter shoe. They are Gore-Tex, so they are waterproof. They do have, as you can see, a leather outer. So they are going to be a little bit more durable and stand up to the elements a little bit better. And then they are fully sealed inside with the Gore-Tex. But to note, the tongue gusset only goes to there. So anything below there is waterproof. If you step in a stream that's there, your feet are going to get wet. And that's just the way it is. So when it comes to snow, there hasn't been much snow this year. But when I do get into some serious snow, I'll just use a pair of gaiters and everything will work. These will work with my trail crampons. So all good there. All right, guys, let me have it. Let me know what you guys think. I know that these are not technically boots, but they're also a little bit bigger and a little bit heavier and heftier than a set of trail runners. But like I said at the beginning, find what works with you and do it. And trail runners and Hokas have worked for me. So that's what we're gonna try. And I'll let you guys know how this journey continues, whether or not these are what works for me. Appreciate you guys checking this out. If you have any questions, any comments, leave them down below. I know a lot of you guys watching this aren't subscribed, so go hit that subscribe button. I don't know why you guys are hesitating to hit it. It costs you nothing. It's just a click, and that's it. Just go click it. Just go click it. All right, guys. I will see you guys down the trail.